Islamic groups are being targeted, people with their families, and videos like this are being produced. This is in the last day.
3,000 entitled Muslims in Michigan just woke up
Robot voice
from pissed-off citizens. Michigan has become a hotbed of hate as Muslims have been allowed to take over much of the state and impose their religious rights on
you see what's going on here?
Before them. After
and they got to use a robot voice.
Fueled in large part by Barack Obama's refugee program and the town of Dearborn becoming the Middle East of Michigan, citizens have had enough. The entitled drive of thinking they can take over has just come to an abrupt end with the rude awakening they just faced by one brave individual leading the charge of making the state American again. The nature of the Islamic religion does not allow Muslims to assimilate into Western culture. They want to dominate it since everything America stands for is
right, so this is the psyops that I keep trying to explain to people.
Michigan has systematically been forced to bow down to Islam under the pressure of our previous president, who herded thousands of refugees into their state and allowed one town, in particular, to become unrecognizable as an American city, Dearborn, which looks more like the Middle East with its predominantly Muslim population of approximately 103,000, according to CSIS. Muslims' plan is world domination, as that's what their holy book preached for them to achieve.
And white genocide, yes.
Implementation of Sharia law, which they try to slowly establish under the radar here in America, without anyone realizing it before it's too late. Wise to their disguise as Michigan Representative Michelle Hoyt-Inga, who isn't taking a backseat to political correctness.
So this is kind of painful for me to read, but I have responsibility to do this. So this is the rhetoric where people are calling for violence to be taken against Muslims. I want you to notice this is on YouTube. This is not being stopped by the bots. But if I talk about Muslims being killed, if I talk about Jeremy Christian, those videos are demonetized. YouTube is not against white supremacy. So these are the comments on this video. 103,000 entitled Muslims in Michigan just woke up to a nasty surprise from pissed off citizens. And again, we have a robot that is programming in the psyops.
103,000 entitled Muslims in Michigan just woke up to nasty surprise from pissed off citizens. Michigan has become
a robot is talking to them.
Allowed to take over much of the state and impose their religious rights on everyone who was there before them. After years of this infiltration, fueled in large part by Barack Obama's refugee program and the town of Dearborn becoming the Middle East of Michigan, citizens have had enough. The entitled drive of thinking they can take over has just come to an abrupt end with the rude awakening they just faced by one brave individual leading the charge of making the state American again. The nature of the Islamic religion does not allow Muslims to assimilate into Western culture.
And you keep hearing that psyops, that there's a conspiracy to cause harm to Americans.
Counter to their beliefs. Michigan has systematically been forced to bow down to Islam under the pressure of our previous president, who herded thousands of refugees into their state and allowed one town, in particular, to become unrecognizable as an American city, Dearborn, which looks more like the Middle East with its predominantly Muslim population of approximately
judgment based on the appearance.
According to CSIS. Muslims' plan is world domination, as that's what their holy book preached for them to achieve. Key to that plan is the implementation of Sharia law, which they try to slowly establish under the radar here in America, without anyone realizing it before it's too late. Wise to their disguise as Michigan Representative
target all Muslims worldwide, make them feel unwelcome in the West. Police should target Muslim forces, terrorize them. And again,
she just slapped them with
people identify Muslims based on their name and appearance, or people they suspect of being Muslim.
As was seen this week by Hoyt-Inga, who just proposed a bill to ban Sharia law. Live reports. Michigan residents would be banned from using other countries' laws in court under a bill proposed by Representative Michelle Hoyt-Inga, Armanton, according to an email obtained by Live. In an email sent to state lawmakers seeking co-sponsors on Monday, Hoyt-Inga said her bill doesn't specifically mention Sharia law.
Fuck anyone named Muhammad, fuck the Quran, fuck Islam, fuck anyone, do not vote for Trump.
If you have not heard by now, a doctor in Detroit is being charged with operating an underground clinic that actively engaged in genital mutilation on young girls. essentially practicing a fundamentalist version of Sharia law. Poyatem wrote in.
So basically, in conclusion, a lot of Americans believe that all Muslims, anyone who's a true Muslim, is engaged in female genital mutilation. And apparently there are different interpretations of Islam, so we're seeing really Muslims being insulted by Westerners that are basically taunting them, saying they're not real Muslims for not following Sharia law to a T. There are others that have said there's a lot of weird things in religions that aren't followed to a T also by Jews and Christians. We can also see just a lot of hypocrisy across the board, and the potential for a lot of innocent people, even non-Muslims, to be targeted, as we see a white genocide hysteria that is also increasing. So you look at the comments, we don't want it to look like Europe. They keep talking about future humans basically with my similar DNA, Anglo on one side, Middle Eastern on the other. And the comment section is alive with a hatred that I've never seen in my life, ever. And I'm seeing another anger rise also in the world, and it's the denialists. It's the white denial. It's the people that have called me crazy, people that have called me delusional, people that have called me paranoid. And here it is. And people have confused a race with a religion, and there's denial about that as well. And they think this is real as well. Obvious Photoshop. In plain sight, and yet they're sharing it anyways. Another way to make the Muslims the enemy. Here's what this guy is noting. So it's a call to action. It's like that podcast I did months ago, warning of people going rogue and hunting people in the United States. Real life, violent witch hunts. Look at this ad. Check out this headline. YouTube celebrity says she has 2 vaginas. What the fuck, man? I mean, seriously, it's late. You know, here, it's late. Here, vagina. Hey, organlive.com. I'm on a friggin' news website. Does this really belong here? Hey, look over here. Vagina. Hey, look at that, 2 of them.
So this is where the Muslim guy lived that got attacked. He has a private ranch. We're in the middle of it now.
Got attacked by who?
Right post 9/11, the people thought that my friend here, I won't mention his name, was a Muslim, but he's really a Sikh. And they almost lit his whole 160-acre ranch here on fire.
Who did that?
Republican assholes from town came out and doused this.
Assholes from town burned down the. Oh, come on.
They lit this on fire, and then it took the sheriff about 6 hours to get up here.
Okay, so...
But since then, he's been targeted a bunch of times
Right.
as a Muslim, but he's
Right.
not. He's a Sikh. You know, he's from Pakistan. He's
Okay.
not even Muslim.
Right.
My brother was shot fucking dead in Dallas right after 2001.
Well, like I was explaining to him, a lot of people are agreeing that lately it's been worse than 9/11. 9/11 was soft, the after 9/11 thing. The last 2 years is when it's really, in my opinion, in my experience, kicked off. Wait, you haven't heard about the
I
white
have
genocide?
Not heard that at all.
Okay, so you're online, right? Are you on Facebook
Not very
or?
often. I am on Facebook. Not very often. The powers be, whoever the hell they may be, I have no clue. Want our population to be divided. Can you imagine how much trouble 300 million united people would be against the government?